All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Tim again from amcfusion.com, and today we're going to talk about contacting distributors. So you want to sell wholesale, which is a great way to go. You need to be able to land good accounts. Contacting distributors sounds pretty straightforward and easy, but I think we got some tips that might help you along the way. So there's a few different ways to contact these distributors that you find, whether you find them on Google or whatnot. Email is probably the preferred way these days. Everybody loves just simply sending an email. It's very convenient. It doesn't take a lot of time and effort. You can use phone calls, which is our preferred method, and then physically going there if they're local to you is always a help too. So we'll talk about email first. So what do you need to know? I think it's really important to start off a relationship really well. You need to make sure that you start off with a good tone, a really well-written email. It doesn't have to be long, but good grammar, proper sentence structure, makes it sound like you're a human, not something that was written by a robot, is a huge help. We think it's really important to go ahead and just send over your resale certificate. Let them know that you're already a retailer, that you already have your authority to resell. It's just one hurdle that we can get out of the way. It shows you are legitimate from the very beginning. I think it's really important to use a professionally hosted email. This is something we did not do in the beginning. We just used a Gmail account, which was fine, and it worked for a lot of people. They weren't too picky, but I think having a professional email, and you can buy a domain for like $10 a year. We use porkbun.com. I absolutely love them. But Porkbun, it's $10 a year, and I think it's $2 a month to host a professional email account. So just like us, it'd be my email is tim@amcfusion.com. It just looks professional, and it's not, amcfusion@gmail.com. So just setting that small thing apart is really helpful. We also think having a professional signature in your email is also a great idea. You can get somebody to design this on Fiverr, or you can design your own. Include your logo if you have one, but it just looks good to, again, look professional, look like you're a real business. This is kind of an expectation in the industry these days. It's so common to have email and a professional email, and everybody in the world has a signature. Even I worked in healthcare in the hospital. I've seen housekeepers in their email with a nice signature on the bottom, their name, what they do, their department, contact information. If they can do it, you as a business owner should be able to do it as well. So again, when you're contacting these distributors via email, a few things you want to just tell them. Say, hey, I'm a retailer or e-commerce retailer looking to build business relationships. We're up and coming, we're growing rapidly, hoping to talk to you about opening an account with your company. The people that receive these, their goal is to open up accounts and make more sales. Just know there's a few things that you'll run into, and we'll talk about those a little bit later on. But their goal is to get as many accounts as they can and to sell as much product as they can. That's their only job. So again, explain to them who you are, what you're doing, and go from there. We don't always recommend just saying, hey, I'm an Amazon seller. And again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. You might just say, hey, I'm an e-commerce seller, or I'm a e-commerce retailer looking to build an account with you guys. So again, preferred, at least our preferred, is actually phone calls. When you can get somebody on the phone and talk to them, you can have a genuine conversation with somebody. I think that there's a lot more friendly tone than a generic email that most people are going to send out. You can tell them who you are, what you do, your story. A lot of times these personal details, you can learn personal information about that person who might be your account rep, or they learn personal things about you that might sway them into wanting to build you an account. We've actually had accounts in the past that we've had one person contact them and they declined us. Then we have another person contact them and they are approved. What's the reason? I don't know. There's no real rhyme or reason. It's actually interesting. One of the accounts we had was the exact same person. And I think it's just that phone call, that personal touch that was there that swayed the person to be able to open an account. So like I said, phone call is our preferred method if you can. That might not be your preferred method, and that's okay. But like I said, a phone call can actually help you build a personal relationship and have a little bit more trust than a random email. So let's talk about some of the resistance you're going to get from these distributors, brands, wholesalers, whoever it is. This is actually a really interesting one. So a lot of times these companies don't want to work with Amazon retailers, and kind of can't blame them. So if you were a grocery store and you were going to buy products from a distributor, you would buy a whole wide swath of products. You don't necessarily know how well they're going to sell. You're just going to try them out. You're going to just try all sorts of stuff. And so you're going to buy a large portion of their catalog. With Amazon sellers, you're only looking for the hot products. You're only looking for stuff that meets certain criteria, and that's all you want. So when a distributor has customers that can buy all sorts of stuff, or they can offload stuff that's not selling well to these retailers that are going to put it in their store, it's a lot easier for them versus you're like, hey, you sell 10,000 products. I'm only interested in these 10. And I want to go deep with these 10. I want thousands of units. Well, they don't have thousands of units of those 10 units or those 10 products because that's not how their business model works. They're buying large amounts of product, but they're also buying a wide variety of product. So also, you're going to see the Amazon sellers, again, they seem to be a little more aggressive in general. They're going to want discounts up front. They're going to bug you for CSV lists so they can scan them through software. They're not really there to look through a catalog, understand the products, and see what they sell. We are simply doing a numbers game with data to try and find the products that we actually want to sell. So you're going to see some resistance to people that don't want to sell on Amazon. So do everything you can to not be that person. Again, building a relationship is key. Tell them that you're an e-commerce seller. If you can set up an e-commerce site, even if it doesn't really sell anything, I think you have a little bit more pull just to say, hey, I'm not just an Amazon seller, but I also sell on my own website. Again, this whole Amazon business thing has created a monster. It's a big behemoth out there that a lot of distributors and stuff don't really want to mess with. Another thing that you're going to get resistance on is going to be people saying you only need a brick and mortar store. I think since the pandemic in 2020, 2021, I think e-commerce sellers and Amazon sellers have a lot better footing. I think distributors, their volumes took a big hit when those retailers were closed. I think this is something you can try and leverage now. You can say, hey, look what happened with the pandemic. We were up and running. We were still buying product and selling product like crazy when all these retail stores were dead. There's a huge push in the e-commerce world. I mean, it's just growing hand over fist, and we're seeing more and more and more explosive sales. You can talk to these vendors and tell them about how these retailers are going out of business. It's 2023. Bed Bath & Beyond is going out of business. Tuesday Morning's going out of business. There's talks about Best Buy possibly going out of business this year. We're seeing that retail sales don't work as well as they used to. We just have different options to purchase online. Prices are stereotypically better because you're not running these giant retail storefronts that cost tens of thousands of dollars. Your employee labor is cheaper on e-commerce, and so the e-commerce just has a better competitive advantage over a retailer most of the time. So have a good, well thought out way to describe this. You need to tell them, hey, I understand you're resistant, that you guys want to have a retail storefront to sell your products, but have you thought about it? And you're like, what happened to you back in 2020 and 2021? How did that affect your sales? You're like, hey, my sales went up, and personal story, our wholesale business went up by 500% in 2020 due to the pandemic. On Amazon sellers and e-commerce sellers killed it because of the pandemic. And so if you can use any of those personal stories or some of the emotional type stuff, you can convince these folks that, I understand you want retail sellers, but that's not the real world that we live in. So when you contact these companies, just know that stereotypically opening an account with a brand, especially a bigger brand, is going to be much, much harder than it is to open an account with a distributor. When you talk about discounts, you're actually going to find it's kind of crazy that distributors can often offer better pricing than brands. And the reason they can do that is because the distributor is buying millions and millions of dollars of product a year from a brand versus you are buying a very small, $10, $20, $50,000 worth of product. The brand has no incentive to offer you discounts compared to a distributor that's buying millions of dollars of product a year. So do know that sometimes the distributor is going to have better pricing. When you talk about discounts, never lead the conversation with a distributor or whoever don't walk in the door saying, hey, I want an account and what's your best discount? That's just a horrible idea. As a prep center, this is going to sound bad, but realistically, when we see people that just their first comment is, hey, I want to open an account, what's your best price? We just click delete. That's not a customer that we want to deal with. And the distributors are going to say the same thing. I have somebody coming in here expecting discounts. We don't know who he is, if they're a legitimate person, and they're just demanding stuff from the very beginning. We find that the best thing you could possibly do is open up the account, look around, see if you can find anything. Hopefully they'll have some products you can make some money. The best thing, again, is to say, hey, we bought $5,000 in stuff with you. There's actually another $5,000 or $10,000 worth of stuff that we really want to buy from you, but the pricing wasn't quite right. Do you offer discounts later on? Is there a volume discount you can offer me if we purchase more products? Go from that angle. I have an established relationship with you. I'm purchasing products from you. Can we do something maybe to help us both out where I can purchase more product from you? Again, don't just go in asking for discounts from the beginning. All right, let's talk about exclusivity. This is stereotypically going to be with a brand direct. Every once in a while, you'll find a distributor that has exclusive rights to be the only distributor for a product, but stereotypically, you're going to see exclusive deals with brands. My number one advice for this is if you're a new seller and you don't know what you're doing, don't ask. Trying to set up an exclusive is a horrible idea. You're going to go in there blind. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're doing. Even if you've been doing this for 6 months, you're still not ready. There's so much more to an exclusive agreement that you need to know about. You need to know about brand registry with Amazon. You need to know about how their IP claims and the whole system works. You need to know what's the legal aspect of intellectual property claims and trademark claims. You don't want to go off accusing people falsely of intellectual property claims because they might sue you. And they might sue you as the person that did it, and they might sue the brand because you're out there playing cowboy doing IP claims illegally. There's a lot to becoming an exclusive seller. Make sure you really understand what it entails. You need to use the knowledge and understanding of the Amazon platform and how you can benefit the brand. If you don't understand what that really means, then don't act like you do. You're just going to set yourself up for failure. You're going to set the brand up for failure. You need to build a relationship with the brand first. Again, just like asking a distributor for a discount from the beginning, horrible idea to ask a brand for an exclusive from the beginning. They don't know you. They don't know if you're a good seller, a bad seller, how you're going to represent the brand. Do you have complaints? There's all sorts of stuff that they don't know about you. And I think over time, this is something you can approach. But again, make sure they can instill confidence in you and that they understand what they're getting into. It needs to be a really good working relationship for the both of you. You'll find that exclusive contracts are usually for a year, and then they might set it up and then dump you after a year. So if they can't build the trust, they don't understand who you are, there's no reason for them to sign any type of exclusive. All right, one more thing to talk about with distributors is kind of questions to ask them that you need to get out in the beginning. One of the biggest things you need to find out is, are they an actually authorized distributor of a brand? So hopefully their websites already portrayed them as an authorized distributor for brands, but you'll find some of these wholesalers and stuff out there are actually bringing in outside products that are made for other countries, what we call gray market products. So maybe they have cameras that were supposed to be going to Asia and being sold in Asia. They're marketed for Asian countries. Their information, all the boxes are written in whatever language it is, Chinese, something like that. They're bringing in those products at a big discount and trying to sell it in the American market. Gray market products stereotypically don't hold a warranty. According to Amazon's terms of service, if you're selling a product as new, it should be able to hold the warranty. So you really need to make sure that the distributor or wholesaler that you're using is actually authorized, because if they're not, that warranty will not convey. Gray market products can be sold. I think the listing just really needs to represent it well, that maybe no warranty, or you could sell it as used, but don't sell authorized Sony cameras that are gray market to users on Amazon, and when they go to find out that they don't have a warranty because Sony said, hey, that wasn't built for your country, they're going to say that's a counterfeit good, and it's going to go against you and your account. Another thing to talk about vendors about is credit terms. So what are credit terms? Credit terms are an ability to buy product with an IOU. So whether that's 30 days or 60 days or 90 days net terms. So you'll find that companies out there will say, sure, you've got great business credit history. We'll give you 30 days credit. So you purchase your products and you don't have to pay for it for 30 days. Credit terms are stereotypically, they're going to want to check your business credit as well as probably have a referral from some other business that you're working with, so they can hear it from somebody else. Yes, this is a good retailer. They've been purchasing us from a while. They always pay their bills. That's usually needed to build credit terms. Sometimes they'll want to talk to your banker to make sure that you're actually doing business. So hopefully that was helpful. Just a little bit of information about contacting vendors. Again, the biggest takeaway from anything is don't go in asking for discounts. Build a relationship with them. It's most important to build a relationship. I can't tell you how thankful we are with the relationships that we have with some of our account reps. They send us all sorts of discounts. If they're trying to liquidate inventory and it sells well, we see like 30, 40, 50% off of their cost. And so we stock up. Without that relationship, nobody's going to send you the deal. They only send it to the people who they appreciate. So build a relationship. Again, just like any type of relationship, you don't want to go in demanding stuff up front. So ease your way into it, build a relationship. Over time, ask for discounts. If you don't know what you're doing, don't ask for exclusivity. Build a relationship. It's probably one of the most important things in a wholesale business that you can do. So hopefully you found it useful. If you saw this on YouTube, click the like and subscribe if you found it helpful. If you saw it on our website, great for you. Thank you for visiting our website, amzfusion.com, where you can view the entire course for free. We do appreciate you guys checking it out. Thanks.